Good morning. My name is Gene Chan, Hearing Officer for San Francisco Public Works. Mary Bell Hanson is the clerk of this hearing. This hearing is being recorded via Zoom and will be available afterwards through a link on San Francisco Public Works website, sfpublicworks.org. As this is a virtual hearing, there is no sign-in sheet. So if you would like to receive information about the results of this hearing, please send an email to the email address listed on the hearing notice. This public hearing is being held to consider one item, order number 211247, to consider an appeal for the illegal removal of one significant tree on private property at 229 Winfield Street. The fine issued is $10,000. My job as the hearing officer is to gather the facts for the hearing item, listen to your testimonies, and help our Director of Public Works make a determination. I will not be making any decisions today. Instead, I will forward the findings from this hearing and make my recommendation to the Director. The Director will make the final determination. When the Director's determinations are made, the department will notify you of them if you have provided contact information. The hearing will proceed as follows for the one case. I will ask Public Works staff to speak first and present the case. There's no time limit for this presentation. Then I will allow the property owner to speak, then any member of the public or witness who wants to speak. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes to speak. The clerk will monitor the time for all speakers and will indicate when the speaker has 30 seconds left. If you're a party to this proceeding, I will call on you to speak. If you would like to use visual materials in your presentation, please let me know before you speak. You will then have the standard 3 minutes to provide your comments. If you are a member of the public or witness who wants to speak, wait for me to call for public comments. Then use Zoom's raise your hand feature if you're on a computer to put yourself in the queue to speak. If you're dialing in on your phone, dial *9 to indicate you're raising your hand. When it is your turn to speak, I will recognize you. If on your phone and you're muted, press *6 to unmute yourself. If you'd like to use visual materials in your presentation, please let me know before you speak. You will then have the standard 3 minutes to provide your comments. After all comments are completed, I will close the item. We will now begin the hearing. At this time, we will open the hearing to public comments. Members of the public may make comments on matters that are within our department's jurisdiction, not on today's agenda. Are there public comments at this time? Okay,
Officer Chan, I do not see any hands raised at this time.
great, thank you. I will close the public comment item and we will move on to the first item on today's agenda, order number 211247. May I have Public Works make its presentation?
Good morning, Ryan Ong with San Francisco Urban Forestry. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is for the administrative hearing of December 18th, 2024. Before I go into the hearing order, I'm going to go over a few informational slides to talk about SF tree, street tree SF, and some of our code. So a tree ordinance establishes authorization and standards for addressing a wide range of issues regarding trees. San Francisco's Urban Forestry Ordinance is codified under Article 16 of the Public Works Code. This is an administrative hearing, and so Section 808 is the protection of trees and landscape materials. Injury to or destruction of trees are prohibited. It shall be unlawful for any person to intentionally, maliciously, or through gross negligence injure or destroy a street tree, any tree on city property, a significant tree, or a landmark tree. And here's just a few more details from that section. Basically, in addition to the penalties set forth, the director may require any person who removes or destroys a tree in violation of the provisions of Article 16 to pay for each tree removed or destroyed a sum of $10,000 or the tree's replacement value, whichever is greater. And basically, where an abutting property owner removed a street tree or trees without obtaining a permit, the department shall require that property owner plant a replacement tree or trees with this total diameter 6 inches above the grade, above ground, that is equal to or greater than the total diameter of the street tree or trees that were removed without a permit. This doesn't apply. And then Article 16, Section 808, this is just a definition kind of. If the department grants a tree removal permit, it shall require that a street tree or trees be of equivalent replacement value to be one removed be planted in the place of the removed tree or impose an in lieu fee. This is a little bit about construction work. If excavation, construction, or street work is planned within the drip line of a significant tree, a landmark tree, or a tree on any street or other publicly owned property, said trees shall be adequately protected. If any construction work results in the injury or damage to such trees, the responsible party may be subject to the penalties. This is a definition of injure or injury. Basically, it's the pruning which in or of itself will kill or cause a tree to decline, or severing of all or part of a tree. Let's see. Here's some more penalties for violation. I kind of went over this. In summary, trees are more than just beautiful additions to urban life. They are an essential component of the city's ecosystem and provide enormous environmental and social benefits. A permit is required to remove any tree, significant tree, or landmark tree. It is illegal to injure a tree. Injuries can include excessive pruning and malicious acts like nailing objects to trees, and negligent acts like vehicular accidents. An illegal removal of a tree requires replacement with equivalent inches in total diameter of the street tree or trees that were removed. It is property owner's responsibility to know the law. Ignorance is not an excuse. So here's just some best management practices that we try to follow that are in our code. Do not remove more than 25% of the tree canopy each year. Do not remove more than 25% of the foliage of a branch or limb each year. This will stress the tree and may produce weakly attached branches the following year. This can kill or lead to decline. Do not cut back to a branch that is less than 1/3 or 1/2 the size of the main branch. Severing all or parts of the tree and topping. These are just some illegal practices that we see. Do not top trees. Tree topping, also called hat racking, heading, or rounding over, is the practice of cutting a terminal branch to a stump or to a lateral branch that is not large enough to assume the terminal role. In general, topping is not an acceptable way to reduce a tree's canopy. In certain situations, a professional arborist may use topping to remove hazardous branches and prolong the life of a mature tree. Topping street trees is illegal. Anyone who tops street trees is liable and will be fined. So here's just a Street Tree SF, which was adopted in 2016. Basically, it's the SF's tree maintenance program, which set aside $19 million to maintain the trees. A census was completed in 2016 to create priorities and a routine proactive tree pruning schedule for the over 125,000 street trees in the city. In the gray area, you can see all this has been completed in our first cycle. All the stuff in yellow is kind of active right now, and the green is what is coming up. It's not really an accurate map right now, but I'd say we're maybe like 75-80% done. So yeah, here it says 68, but again, this hasn't been updated, so I'd say about like 75-80%. Maintenance needs have been addressed by contractors and city arborists. Let's see. And then so when we do come out and prune the tree, we will hang door hangers. We'll send out flyers, and we have all this information for people to kind of understand what we're doing. And if they want any more information, they can reach out to us. So to continue on with the hearing, for order number 211-247-229 Winfield Street. This is to consider an appeal from the property owner for the illegal removal of one significant tree on private property at 229 Winfield Street. The fine issued is $10,000. So here is the tree in question. This is in February of 2022. See, the tree is kind of set back next to this garage. Here's another photo of the tree. And then this is 2 years later, February 2024, sorry. You can see that only the stump has been left and the tree was removed. Here's another close-up photo of the tree and the stump. This was a photo of before the tree. Another photo of the tree after it was pruned. So new legislation enacted in 2007 requires that a permit be issued to remove any significant tree. As defined in the Public Works Code, significant trees are located on private property, but within 10 feet of the public right-of-way, and also meet any one of the following size requirements: either 20 feet or greater in height, 15 feet or greater in canopy width, 12 inches or greater in diameter of trunk measured at 4.5 feet above grade. These trees are granted the same protections as street trees, and a permit is required before any significant tree can be removed. And then here's just kind of a diagram that the tree qualified as a significant tree, and it met at least 2 of the categories of a significant tree. The DBH was 14 inches in one of the stumps, and the canopy width was at least 17 feet wide. As you can see, the photo and the dimensions in the photos. And then here is just another a photo of an aerial view of our map viewer tool that we can measure the public right-of-way. And up in the left-hand corner, you can see that it's about 5 3/4. We kind of like round up to like 6 feet. So the public right-of-way is 6 feet. Therefore, the tree was within 10 feet of that public right-of-way. And then you can see kind of here, this is like a historical grading map, and you can see in the circled area that the public right-of-way is 6 feet. And so here's another aerial close-up view of the curb line, the 6 feet, and the property line where it stands, and the address. The white area is the public right-of-way, and the light gray area is the private property. So here's just an email that we received from a neighbor nearby. They said that it has been on my mind to report the felling of a lovely large bay laurel at 229 Winfield Street last fall. I was devastated to see the large tree removed one morning. An arborist neighbor recommended I report this removal to the city, as there was no notification of its upcoming demise and seemingly no permit to do so. And so she was kind of reporting this to us and just trying to figure out why the tree was removed. And so the subject tree was included within a member of the public self-guided tree tour during COVID. So basically, this tree was on an urban forest, San Francisco urban forest tour in Bernal Heights. So it was not only a significant tree within Public Works Code, but also a significant tree to members of the public. And so you can see here, this was circled is the 229 Winfield, the Italian Bay Laurus nobilis, Mediterranean Basin was on their list as one of their tours stops. So again, here is a photo of the tree. And the tree removal permit required, despite the wrong tree or wrong place concept. This is from December 2017. Tree is not well suited to the limited space. You know, it was planted in this small container, and probably uplifting the sidewalk. Even though you still got to call the city um, and make sure that you have the right permits and documents to remove the tree. So again, here's a photo, no room to plant a tree replacement in the same location or in the 6-foot sidewalk, public right of way adjacent to the property. You can see that there is a sewer line and a water line. So unfortunately, a tree can't be replaced adjacent to the property. And there's no room to plant a required replacement tree. Diameter equivalent of what was removed, measured 6 inches above grade. So in addition, where an abutting property owner removed a significant tree or trees without obtaining a permit, the department shall require that the property owner plant a replacement tree or trees with total diameter 6 inches above ground that is equal to or greater than the total diameter of the street tree or trees that were removed without a permit. So basically, this is some calculations. It was 14 inches at the DBH level, and the typical 24-inch box tree is 2 inches caliper at 6 inches above ground. So you divide that, you get 7. So the estimated minimum of 7 24-inch box trees to stand as replacement for removed tree. Since there's no room for a tree, we must multiply by that standard in lieu fee, which is the $2,520. That's basically what it costs to plant the tree and water it and maintain it for 3 years. So the 7 times the 2520, and that total is 17,640. And so to be consistent with how we deal with similar cases, we have issued a fine for $10,000 for illegal removal of a significant tree. And that's the end of my presentation.
Okay, thank you. Is the property owner here to speak on this case? Mr. Andrew?
Okay.
Mr. DeRace, I've unmuted
Right.
you and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Okay, can you turn on my video, please?
Your video. I'm going to have to move you to a panelist if you'd like to share a video.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, 1 moment, please. Okay, sir, you are
Okay, just let me start my video here.
okay. Once your video starts, I'm going to go ahead and start the timer.
Okay, 1 moment, please. Okay, can you see me okay? Okay,
Yes.
and I just have to ask before we start,
The time has started, sir.
Brian had more than 3 minutes, didn't he? That's
Yeah, they're allowed
yeah.
to. Thank
Okay,
you.
so I'm the real estate broker that had the hedge removed, and I'm here not to, deny that that was removed, but I'm here to ask for mercy about an unknown sort of publicized code that I'd never heard of growing up in the Bay Area my entire life, living in San Francisco for 25 years, being a homeowner and running my own housing-related business. I'm here also to question the evidence that the hedge fell into that category because I believe that past photos and Google Earth imagery is different from the hedge that I came upon in October of last year. And lastly, the fines that are being thrown around far exceed what's reasonable and affordable for someone who always wants to do the right thing. And this would be an extreme hardship to my family. For the last 17 years, I've raised an adopted son with autism and cystic fibrosis. He is going to graduate from high school this year, and we are trying to get him into a special school. This has been a huge financial hardship on my family. So, this situation and potential fines have caused me to lose sleep for years. I absolutely had no concept that there is a designation called a significant tree. And unfortunately, this property was in a very small container of a 1906 home. What I want to mention is that I was raised by a social worker in Alameda County, mental health. My father, who immigrated to the US, he passed away, was a landscape contractor. They taught me to care about people and nature. 21 years ago, I founded a business to help families who have lost a loved one deal with the property after they've passed away. This was such a situation. Okay, that property has been sold after the elderly gentleman who owned it with his wife for many, many years passed away. The home was in significant disrepair with over $100,000 in mold issues in the home and huge overgrowth at the property. I was tasked to help them get the property ready for sale. As part of that, there appeared to be a hedge at the front of the property that was very close to the foundation, as you can see from the photos you showed, in a deteriorating concrete planter, which you also saw that was likely from 1906. There's also no other canopy on any of the houses along that side of the street or both sides of the street. And to my eye, the property did not look, the plant did not look healthy, and it appeared to be a hazard to the sidewalk. I had no idea about the 10-foot rule, and I question the fact that it was actually the size it was, because you're using hearsay, which is old Google Earth photos, not the property that the plant that I found at the time. I was unaware of the significant designation, and we're talking 6 feet versus 10 feet. And you're talking about measuring those stumps. What I found was it keeps muting me for some reason. I found a stump that was actually should have been a bunch of old stumps that something new grew out of. So I don't understand this calculation. There was no stump there that was larger than 12.
Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you, sir, for your comments. And Officer Chan, if you have any other questions for the appellant, you're welcome to.
Sure. I'm gonna open up to public comments first. Is there anyone in the public that wanted to add comments to this agenda item?
I don't think so. The only other person is he's our new hire, so he's just watching the video.
Okay.
But maybe
all
you
right.
want to he's Mr. DeVry.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to
Yeah. So
answer.
I will allow Mr. DeVry to have a couple more minutes to speak his case.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Officer Chan, how much time would you?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Thank you.
We can just give him audio access.
Yeah, I'm going to one moment here.
I'll share some photos.
Okay.
Sure.
Mr. DeVries, go ahead. You have 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah. So, I just want to say that this was a property in significant disrepair. I thought I was doing the right thing. I love nature. I spend a lot of times in our parks. I've had a very hard time the last few years because I see a lot of things go on in the city that people don't get fined for. Burning in the parks, homeless encampments, no permits for all that stuff. And in this case, you look at that planter, you see what was going on there. And it was a bunch of trees that had grown together. And I know maybe that's a designation you guys don't agree with, but to me, this was a hazard. And that's this was a hazard. That's an older picture, but this was a hazard that I didn't know about. So I don't think it's reasonable for the average citizen, let alone somebody with 20 years experience dealing with trees in San Francisco, to know about this article. And I think that the urban forestry should spend, time educating the public via public service messaging or something else, as opposed to sort of trying to make someone like me the example, for a mistake. And, you know, I would like to note that the inspector, also said that the tree would likely have been approved for removal had a permit
That's a
been applied.
30-second alert.
Okay, so the crux is we can't replace that tree. We don't own the property anymore. I want to do the right thing. I want to make it good, but I really ask that there be some leniency because this is a significant fine. I mean, I can't think of anything else in the city, law enforcement wise, rather, that's going to impose a sign of this here. So I'm not here to deny. I'm just here to ask for mercy and this has caused me significant loss of sleep and I've been very upset. I wish I could do the right thing and make it all
Thank you.
good.
Appreciate your
Yeah.
additional comments. I'm going to go ahead and mute you.
Thank you. Some quick questions, Mr. Ong. Can you go back to the slide where the measurements were of the trunk? And so that 14-inch meets one of the criteria.
Yes, so Brian on San Francisco Urban Forestry. Yeah, so the inspector, when they went out there, they saw the stump
Mhm.
and they were able to take measurements.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's one tree, just to be clear, with multiple stems coming out.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, even so, we do add up all the diameters of all the stems, and then that will give us,
Mhm. Okay.
yeah.
And it looks like it is creating some damage to that retaining wall of that, I guess, planter, and
Yes.
also the driveway. I did also note that there may have been some sewer lateral work. In one of the photos, there was some sidewalk work that looked like new concrete.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I think yeah, sewer, yeah. So it's most likely growing on top of the sewer line.
Yeah, and it looks like there may have been some work that was done to
Yeah,
repair the line.
that was at least 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Same photo from 2022.
Okay.
So yeah.
There was mention of some tour. Is that a tour that's sanctioned by the city?
I don't think so. It's just like a walking tour.
Okay.
And they just have like landmark trees that the Urban Forestry Council identifies, and then I think they added some more just on their website for trees that are a little bit unique to the city and look nice. So yeah,
Okay. It's not a landmark tree, right?
it is not. No,
Okay.
it is not.
And to be on this list, the property owner is not notified, right?
Yeah, the property owner is on this list. No,
Yeah.
if it's just like a normal like tree walking tour and someone just
Yeah.
wants to put a list together of nice trees in the city, they can do that. Only if it's a landmark tree, they'll probably get notified. They usually have to go through a whole hearing,
Correct.
and then there's like a council that'll approve a landmark tree.
Correct. Okay. Okay. Question for Mr. DeVry. Mr. DeVry, did you know of any issues with the sewer lateral from the previous owner? I think you can try to unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so your question was,
Did you know of any sewer issues from the previous owner of the property?
no, because see, the problem is in this case, the previous owner was an elderly gentleman who passed away in his 90s. And by the time I was involved, as with all of the properties I deal with, he has passed away, his wife had passed away, and there was only remote relatives who didn't know anything about the property. So we start from a point of very minimal understanding. And this is very common in San Francisco as the elderly population passes on. So the answer is no, but as he can see from that
Okay.
concrete, it does appear that there was sewer work done at some point.
Okay. Understood. Thank you. Mr. Ong, if a tree removal application was submitted, what do you suppose the decision may be?
Brian Ong, Urban Forestry. No, I can't say. I would assume if we'd have to talk to the inspector,
Okay.
but if she said that she would approve it, maybe because of the foundation and the sewer line,
Mm-hmm.
just how close it is.
Yeah.
I'd say it's likely that she would have approved it.
Okay.
But I could
Um,
follow up with her and see
Sure.
what her decision would be.
Sure. Um, but we would accept an application for tree removal for this.
Yeah, we accept, any we'll accept all applications. It's just we'll have to go through the process, either
Yes,
approving it
correct.
or denying it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, we would have
Okay.
accepted it. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Okay. That is all the questions I had. And there was no other public comments. So I will proceed and close this item, and I will make my recommendations to the director. This agenda hearing item is now closed. And as there's no other items on the agenda, this hearing is now closed.
Thank you, Officer Chan. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording at this time.
Okay, thank you.